Welcome to our show, Sacred Tools for Divine Living with Vialet Rayne, where Vialet provides you with practical ways to bring in more joy and financial abundance into your life. Vialet creates a loving and sacred space where she shares simple ways for each of us to empower and enrich our lives. We are so happy you have joined us today. Let's get started with your host, the magical creator of Discover Your Spiritual Gifts, Vialet.
Sacred Tools for Divine Living. In this episode, I'd like to talk about be kind to others. You know, I think all of us believe that we're kind, that we're compassionate, that we're loving, that we take care in our relationships, how we approach people, how we communicate. But the reality is we're human. We live in this physical reality, in this physical existence. And the truth is, sometimes we can be very judgmental, we're very critical of others. We can really filter things through our own filter system. And the real truth is, if you haven't walked in that person's shoes, if you don't know their history, if you don't know the background, then there's no way that you can know what's going on in their lives. How many times have people smiled, put on a beautiful face forward, and maybe their whole world is tumbling within them? Maybe they're struggling. Maybe there's stress at home or worry at home, or maybe they have loved ones, or maybe they've been through trauma themselves. You just never know. Looking at the book cover, looking at the outside of somebody really doesn't tell you what's going on in their lives. And each and all of us handle things differently, emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually, depending on our experiences, our own filter systems, our belief systems, the social economics. All of that comes into play. You might not know that somebody has had a difficult life, that they've struggled, that they have faced challenges that have been tremendous, that they have pushed through. You know, the truth is, the people that know my history and my background have always said, Violet, you need to write a book, because nobody believes some of the things that you've lived through, that you've overcome, that you've come through. I've even had people say, I can't believe you're still sane, that you still put a smile on your face, that you still push forward. Because I have had lots of trauma in my life, lots of challenges, lots of obstacles. But how I worked through it, how I responded to it, how I faced it, how I moved through it, I'm one that's very different than most people. There are some people out there, and I'm sure you know them, that talk about their sorrows all the time, their difficulties, their challenges. They're very vocal to what is going on. And some people believe that they want to be in that space because that's their focus, right? Some people move through those and they don't share it with anybody. They don't talk about it. They don't bring it up. They put their mask, their smile on, and they move through it. So it's important for all of us to have an understanding, to be kind to others, because we never know what they could be going through. We never know what they could be facing. You know, one of the images that comes to mind is Robin Williams, and we saw his laughter and his movies and the beautiful things that he done and did. And many of us were very connected to who he was as an actor and what he provided us. A lot of people didn't know that he battled depression. And it's hard for us to connect that sometimes, because as an actor, he did his roles really well. And we saw the happiness and joy that he played in some of those, right? And the challenges he faced in others. And you would assume that he had the perfect life. The other person I always think about is Elvis Presley, because I was a big fan of Elvis and he loved his fans. But if you've ever toured Graceland, you find out that he spent hours watching his fans on videos because he could not have one-on-one contact because they didn't always treat him so well and they didn't respond to him so well. And believe it or not, he was human, right? He was a human being having this physical experience. And it came down to him isolating himself from the world in a lot of ways. He couldn't live a life that we normally live, right? So be kind to others, because you never know what they may be experiencing or what they're facing on their plate or what they're trying to work through. Take the time this month just to be kind and be very conscious of your kindness to others. Try to remove criticism and judgment. Try to step through without that and just be compassionate and loving. I hope you have a great month, and thanks for listening.
Thank you for joining us. To find out more about Vialet and how she can help you discover your spiritual gifts, head over to discoveryourspiritualgifts.com. Check out Violet's services and classes. You can also send a personal message to Violet through email, violet@discoveryourspiritualgifts.com. Until next time, remember, we are meant to have abundant and joyful lives. We hope to see you really soon at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts.
Discover connection, awaken sacredness, become empowered. Come experience a difference at Discover.